Ready to get started?
Yes, please. We have to make it in time for Love Island later.
We do have to make it in time for Love Island later. Welcome to Moto Mouse, the podcast for MotoGP, motorsports, and more. I'm your host, Zoe, and 6'7".
Absolutely not. I'm your other host, also named Zoe, and I do not co-sign what just happened.
6'7".
I don't like it. Please stop. It's really fucking annoying, especially when Marc does it. Because he is, as the kids say, chopped and unk.
He is chopped and unk, but no longer washed.
He's never been washed. And I also don't think he's chopped in like the common understanding of chopped. I mean chopped like physically, as in there are knives in him always.
Right, like his bones are chopped up.
Yeah.
There are chunks of it out.
Here there be knives, you know?
Right.
Anyways, what a fucking weekend.
Everything happened all at once.
Yeah, but we say that every weekend.
But like all-encompassing, everything happened this weekend.
Yeah, let's talk about Batalon.
All right.
So Batalon happened this weekend. It was certainly something. Before we talk about anything else, there are things to talk about. Things happened. Things were interesting. In the words of Joe Onmir talking about the sprint this weekend, I will say the racing was overall very boring. Like, I'll say that right now. Hand to God.
Yeah.
Okay, so 4 predictions for the weekend.
What do we predict?
I predicted a Bez P1, Jorge Martin P2, Marc P3, Fail King Fabio Quartararo. You predicted a Marc P1, Bez P2, I P3, Fail King Cal Crutchlow. You're having a really great week with the predictions.
Thank you. This is what I wanted to talk about.
The real podium was Marc Pedro Pecco.
How did Fabio do?
He was towards the back of all of the Yamahas, which means he fucked up.
Instead of saying hit rock bottom, we can start to say at the back of all the Yamahas.
No, they basically mean the same thing.
It's a synonym.
No, they mean the same thing. I think Fabio is also catching a lot of fucking strays right now. Rightfully so, because he has pretty much admitted to the fact that he's phoning it in.
Well, Fabio...
Who among us?
I fully support Queen's quiet quitting. Quartararo, Queen's quiet quitting.
Yeah.
However, I think he may have lost the quiet part of that.
Oh, yeah, I don't think it's quiet. I don't think it's ever been quiet. I don't think it will ever be quiet.
He is loud quitting.
And I also think like he gets a lot of flack, and like rightfully so, for his like huge paycheck. And it's like, hey, you're getting paid a lot of money to do the thing that you love. Maybe don't half-ass it.
I have to answer emails, like, have some perspective.
But on the other hand, too, it's like if I was riding a bike that sucked ass and never made any sense and kind of tried to kill me a lot, I would probably half-ass it, too. However, this also happened to my good friend Marc Marquez, and he almost killed himself doing it. So I don't really know what the right answer is here.
I think, as we say often, as with all things, it's somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, moderation in all things. Now that we're back from the Fabio Quartararo side tangent quest. Yeah, basically this was a bad weekend for Aprilia. We predicted both Aprilias, or at least 2 Aprilias, on the podium here. None of that happened.
No.
And the blame for all of that is lying solely at the feet of Jorge Martin.
I think this is so funny.
So what ended up happening is on the Sunday GP, Jorge Martin, who I think was starting pretty far back, got a great launch off the line, comes up the inside of turn 1. No idea what really happens. Don't know if he missed his braking marker, missed everyone coming up real close with him, whether or not he got caught up in like slipstream and couldn't brake, whether something happened with the bike. We don't really know for sure. Has like some major like wobbles of the bike and then just fucking loses it. Crashes straight into Marco Bezzecchi, Fabio Di Gianantonio, Vermin Aldeguer, and Raul Fernandez.
Oh my God.
So Bez, Martin, I think Furman and Raul were all just fully out of the race. Digia somehow got his bike back up and ended up back in the race. It was fucking fast by the end, so I'd be pissed if I were him too, because he had some great pace. And it looked bad.
Yeah, especially knowing Furman has like a barely working femur.
Right. And also, Furman was starting off the front. Like he was starting in the first row.
He was having a great weekend for somebody, especially for somebody who is half of a working femur.
Well, it's funny you put him and Marc together and you've got like maybe one working person.
You've got like 2/3 of a working limb, total working limbs. Wait, we have 4 limbs. Fuck.
Yeah, a lot of good math happening here.
Cross multiply.
Yeah. What is deeply, deeply funny about this situation, and like obviously everyone's okay. I think Jorge Martin had like something like contusions they wanted to look at, but like no one has a broken bone, no one has a fracture. Like that's all good.
They love, I think their second favorite diagnosis after gastroenteritis is contusions.
I mean, it's a great umbrella term in this sport.
Really is.
So he's getting a double long lap penalty for the next race, which like makes sense. It's also his quote unquote first offense at like a turn 1 incident. And the steward's office, I think starting last year, started essentially like grading offenses based on like first offense, second offense. Like there's a level of severity depending on your like level of tenure with the steward's office. Like Frankie Morbidelli, over the course of a year, tends to get really aggressive penalties because he's always fucking someone's day up.
And they're annoyed with him and they're all like, stop.
Exactly. So like the increased amount of instances at the steward's office, the increased level of severity.
It's like how by the time at the end of my senior year, I had garnered so many in-school suspensions for being tardy that I had to go to the principal's office like 2 days before graduation. He was like, Zoe, you can't do this. I was like, what are you going to do?
I can't relate. I was never late and I had perfect attendance for like 10 years.
This is genuinely shooken me to my core. Zoe and I are so alike in so many ways. To hear this is like the foundation of the earth is crumbling beneath me. This is like a fundamental difference between us.
Like 30% of that, I will say, is on having a dad with OCD.
Oh, yeah, that's fair.
But also, I just like never really get sick. So it's not like I was like absent for sick all the time. Anyways, so he gets the double long lap penalty for the next GP. The Aprilia team guy, Massimo Rivola, basically goes, it should have been more.
It's giving Arrested Development. I don't have a favorite child. I don't care for Job.
That's exactly what it's giving, because he didn't stop there. He did not stop there. He said, yeah, this is Jorge's mistake.
I don't care for Job.
He said, if this is a braking issue, it's a braking mistake that a world champion should not be making.
Oof. And then Jorge made a notes app apology.
He did, with like one of the most like please pity me photo choices I have ever seen.
No, it was kick puppy.
Guess what Massimo also said?
What did Massimo also say?
That we as Aprilia are really focused on getting everyone like back on bikes, et cetera, but like the best thing Jorge can do is help Marco win next week.
God. Oh my God. He's in timeout.
I'm paraphrasing. But he basically was like, we are really excited to help Marco.
Right.
And Jorge's also here.
Yeah. He's the redheaded stepchild.
It's, again, deeply funny to me how somehow, like, Jorge is so talented. But then he goes places and he has an attitude and, like, his ego just shoots him in the foot. Because this is the same kind of attitude Ducati was treating him when he was winning the title on a Prima Pramac Ducati.
Attitude is everything.
Basically, to remind us all, during the back half of the season where Jorge won the title on a Prima Pramac Ducati Lenovo, the factory team, basically pulled their support from Prima Pramac. And it was this like big thing, and everybody kind of was up in arms about it, where it's like, this is sabotage. Like, they're fixing the title fight. And it's like, I mean, I'm not going to disagree with you on that one, but also that's kind of within their rights. And by the way, this is also after Prima Pramac had said they're going over to Yamaha.
Okay, then what is everybody upset about?
It was a whole thing. And like I said, I don't disagree that there's some like aspect of truth to the whole like idea of sabotage, but Ducati Lenovo would rather a Ducati Lenovo athlete win the title than one of their satellite like remote workers.
Exactly.
That's how it goes. But it's just funny to me that this happens to Jorge multiple times because he just somehow poisons the working environment that he is in.
Listen, we all have a coworker like Jorge.
I fucking don't, thank God. Am I the Jorge?
I don't think so.
That thing about the gay cousin?
Yeah.
If you don't have the gay cousin, are you the gay cousin?
No, but I think my siblings are. I mean, I am, but also I think my siblings are.
I don't think I have a gay cousin.
But also, how many cousins do you have? Because I have 15.
Oh, I don't have many. On my mom's side, only 2.
Yeah, I have 15 first cousins.
And then on my dad's side, I have
14?
3. So I've got 5 cousins total.
That's as many siblings as I... Well, no, I have 4 siblings.
Anyways.
So,
once again, cannot convey, this is an Aprilia disaster class. There is one man left standing, and his name is Ayagura.
Our guy.
Ayagura locks the fuck in around the midpoint of the GP, which is kind of what he's known for.
Yes.
And Sunday with a P4.
I love I.
At one point, he is the fastest rider on track for multiple laps.
And that doesn't, none of this surprises me. I think he is so fucking talented. We were talking about it last week. He is a real racer. He has the sauce. And when he has the opportunity, he takes it.
I would like him to have the sauce over the course of the weekend.
Right.
I think that's where we need sauce applied.
Mm-hmm.
And I would like some sauce in the beginning of the GP.
Right.
I think we have enough sauce where it currently is, but we're working on it.
The sauce is not spread evenly over the pizza.
It's kind of globbed.
Yeah. Congealed.
Okay. We're talking disaster class. Now we're talking master class. So, of course, we're talking Marc.
Markster class.
No.
Doesn't work as well as it does with Max.
No. I want to give you quick context on Marc's weekend. He, spoiler alert, got another trouble.
Oh
Big
my
fucking
God.
deal.
But his first trouble in quite a while.
I think something like 255 days.
Yeah.
So Marc is back. Marc is also the last person to tell you that Marc is back because as we've discussed, he lies all the time.
Loves to lie.
He was, I think, fastest in one of the practice sessions, at least. He obviously secured pole, won the sprint, won the GP. So dominant weekend from this guy. Specifically in qualifying, he talked about how he was kind of in what he calls eco mode, which is eco. So he was going a lot slower and sandbagging himself during the practice sessions.
He's a hybrid car.
Yeah.
Well, he's a hybrid human.
Yes. He knew that he'd have to go really fucking hard in qualifying, in the sprint, in the race. So he kind of kept it tight and kept it chill in practice sessions. Cut to Q2, goes out, slides out in turn 1 of his first hot lap in Q2, keeps the clutch, bike is still running, hops back on the bike, immediately sets fastest lap and ends the session securing pole.
He's fucking crazy.
He's crazy.
How many times can we say it? Not enough.
Not enough. And here's the thing, I'll be grateful I can say it as long as I can.
So true. So true.
This is an anti-clockwise stop and start track. So he had a super dominant weekend here last year. We know that this is pretty much a perfect setting for him at the beginning of the weekend. And this continues his whole bullshit from Mugello of basically being please, I'm wounded. I'm a wounded little bird. Don't expect much from me because I won't be able to deliver. I just get tired so quickly. And time passes so slow because I'm injured.
I have glass bones and paper skin.
And
every
day
I wake up in agony.
And every night I have screaming nightmare. And everyone takes out at face value and they're like, wow, Marc, so brave, which I think he loves.
He's so weird, Barbie.
He is so weird, Barbie. But he doesn't know he's weird, Barbie. He thinks he's Margot Robbie, Barbie. And I don't even think he's always wrong.
No, I agree.
So everyone's like, hey, you were really fucking fast and Mugello still said you were off the pace. And Mugello is as we've discussed, really fucking fast, high physical track. So you're throwing your body all over the place and a good amount of right-handers, which are not his thing. Batalon is the exact opposite. It's not the most physically demanding, anti-clockwise, lots of left turns, stop and start, his shit. So they're like, hey, we think you have a really good chance this weekend. Know that you're injured. We feel like this could be it. Also, there are subtle, unconfirmed reports. No one's going on the record, but his team is feeling very confident after the shoulder surgery, after Mugello. So people are like, what's the truth? Marc says, Quote, if I fight for the win or the podium, it means that the others are doing something not in a good way. Translated, if I'm doing good, it's because y'all fucked up.
Yeah.
Which is a lie.
Yeah. It's just like, does anyone believe him when he says these things?
Yes, because at the end of the weekend at the Sunday press conference, he's sitting up there in the P1 seat, and one of these journalists goes, hey, do you lie to us a lot? He goes, yes, I do. And Pedro Acosta, sitting right next to him, says, oh, all champions lie. Marc turns and looks at him and goes, do you?
Dirty. Messy.
Meanwhile, Pecco is sitting there like having a giggle, and they're like, what the fuck are you laughing at? And he goes, I'm never playing poker with Marc. That's what I'm laughing about.
Perhaps the smartest thing that Pecco Bagnaia has ever said.
Completely agree. He also confirmed this weekend that he came back to Mugello. This is also like a big weekend for numerology fans.
Big weekend for numerology fans. Big weekend for people between the ages of 6 and 17.
I don't know about 17. Maybe I'm overestimating 17-year-olds.
No, but I did get it.
No, I don't like it. I'm not responding. So Marc won his 100th GP overall. He's currently at 84 in MotoGP. It is Ducati's 100th year, so it's their centennial. And this was Ducati's 100th GP win. 6-7 has something to do with the date, obviously, because it was June 7th. And then also, if you look back at his first win ever, it was on June 6th in 2010.
What we didn't even know then was 6-7.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah. And the 6-7 thing comes from... He was hanging out with Diogo Moreira and Cal Crutchlow, and Cal Crutchlow's like daughter, who is apparently only a few years younger than Diogo, which is
disturbing,
debilitating knowledge. And they were apparently talking about it, and Marc goes, "Oh yeah, like the thing that people are doing 7-Eleven." And they were like, "No."
How do you fellow kids?
And then like Diogo, and I think Cal and his daughter made a bet that if Marc won, he had to do 6-7 as like part of the celebration.
Wow. And I'm so glad he did.
No, like, thank God.
And Maximo Quiles.
Maximo had a great weekend. And last year Maximo won here. So
but Maximo and Parc Fermé did 6-7 too.
Yeah, because he's also a child.
Right.
Just like crazy.
And Alex posted to his story 6-7.
He did. So Marc is 100 GPs overall. This is his centennial too. Rossi is currently ahead of him at 115, and Agostini is at 122. Okay, couple other things. Pedro, who was also on the podium, and Pedro and Marc had a really, really satisfying and kind of like pearl clutching fight on Sunday.
Fabio was clutching his pearls.
Yeah, all the way back down in like P16. This is honestly like probably one of the few tracks that Pedro had a really fucking good chance at winning, especially with everybody else out or like behind him. He likes a stop and start track. He's fine, anti-clockwise, clockwise. This was going to be a good opportunity for him. Marc said, fuck them kids, rolled up, did what he had to do. Pedro is now the record holder for the most podiums without a win.
Welcome back, Nico Hülkenberg.
Yeah. Guess how many?
15.
13.
I was close. Unlucky 13. He's never going to get another podium.
Speaking of numerology, Toprak had a good weekend. He felt like he was going to have a good weekend here. He finished on Sunday at 11th, and he was looking pretty competitive at certain points.
Top points. You don't think that works?
I don't think, because that's already a phrase, you know?
Yeah. He's racking the points up.
Razgatliogloints. I feel like that's a winner.
I think so. I really like Razgatliogloints.
I think that rocks.
It sounds like a medication for glaucoma.
Speak to your doctor about Razgatliogloints.
Exactly.
Ane Bastianini was being a straight up fucking villain. Like, no idea what he was doing. He just barged right into the side of Joan Mir, ended up getting a long lap penalty for it, got another long lap penalty later in the race, hanging out, doing random bullshit. Joan Mir ended up crashing out of the race at a later point.
Okay, George Russell.
Fabio Quartararo also crashed out, so really just not having a great time. And then last but not least, there were some track issues. For whatever reason, across multiple series, this was the weekend of tracks fucking disintegrating.
Yeah. Sinkhole Saturday.
It's more like asphalt disappearing Sunday. We can workshop that one.
Yeah, we'll work through that later.
But this track, there were parts of it that were completely resurfaced after World Superbike had some issues here at their most recent appearance. And one of those was turn 1. So like turn 1, apparently slick as fuck, which is where Marc crashed out during qualifying. Obviously, turn 1 is where Jorge Martin fucked up his whole Sunday. Pecco is the one who was like, hey, I think this is going to be a problem. And it was.
Did Matt Oxley happen to bring those unionizing books or what?
I think he probably just recognized the lost cause of Mugello, is my guess. Pecco also flagged at the end of the race on Sunday that the track was disintegrating at one of these resurfaced parts of the track. And he referred to how it felt like if you were behind anyone or like near anyone, bits of track that were like picked up by the tires and pushed backwards felt like you were getting shot with a minigun.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
yeah.
That's not good.
No, it's bad. And then more and more riders are coming out and saying that the start device that kind of like sinks the bike down is the reason we're having so many turn 1 incidents. And they're kind of more and more speaking out and being like, yeah, it's kind of fucked up. Fabio Di Gianantonio said something. Jack Miller said something.
Is this the same or different device as the whole shot?
Different, but they serve similar purposes.
Got it. So
the like starting device is what sinks it down and makes sure you get a really great start, combined with the fact that like at Barcelona, because everybody essentially has a 100% chance of a really fast launch and then you speed up really fast.
Right.
You all get to the corner at the same time.
They're too good for a device that allows for a good start.
Yeah, basically. It just is like, if you're all showing up really fucking fast in the same corner, then of course you're going to like concertina and there'll be 6 wide and someone's going to make a mistake. It just happens.
Great use of the word concertina.
Thank you. And then very last but not least, Trackhouse now has a title sponsor.
Oh?
Yeah, it's a company called Superfile. They are just like, I think, a software as a service company based in Chicago. Woo woo. And they came to this relationship with Trackhouse and MotoGP because they are a current sponsor with Trackhouse and NASCAR. And allegedly, I haven't really seen this truly reported on, but allegedly the CEO of Superfile, who I'm sure knows Justin.
Mm-hmm. Justin Trackhouse.
Trackhouse Justin was at Batalon, maybe Mugello, I can't remember, and wasn't there to like confirm a title sponsor, was just to be like a main sponsor, and was like, hey, this place rocks. These people are cool. I'm having a lot of fun.
Yes!
Let's title sponsor it up.
This is what we have been saying. When you get this sport in front of Americans' eyes, they will fall in love with it. We have been on this since day one.
Yeah, proof point. So what a weekend. And now the whole conversation is obviously continually about Marc because he is him. But the bigger conversation is the championship standings. Because now Marc took about 30 points out of Bezzecchi's lead over him and is only 72 points off of the front and leapfrogged from 8th place in the standings up to 5th.
It's Jover.
It's not Jover. I think it's starting. I genuinely think that it's starting right now.
The season starts now.
Yeah. Because if we look forward, the next GP is not this weekend, but next weekend. And that is at Brno. And then we have Assen. But then after that, we get into July. And guess where we go in the beginning of July?
Where? Oh, Saxon Ring.
We go to the Saxon Ring.
Remind me, what do they call Marc vis-a-vis the Saxon Ring?
They call him the King of the Ring.
Right. Because when he goes there, he wins every single time.
Yeah. Not every time, but that is one of his most winningest tracks. So looking forward, Brno will be like, okay, can we see a step forward? Because we have a couple weeks. And then we get to Assen and it'll kind of be like, all right, is this going to be consistent? And then we get to the Saxon Ring because there's a gap between Assen and the Saxon Ring. Mm-hmm. Can we take a step forward again? These are the questions.
These are the questions we're asking.
these are the questions we're asking. So
Okay.
yeah, we'll do predictions for Brno next week. But an eventful week, I think.
I think so. Does that bring us to the Great White World of Motorsport?
It sure does.
So a lot of things have happened in the Great White World of Motorsport. And by that, I mean a lot of things happened in Monaco. For a race that was like physically very boring, spiritually, it was not.
Yeah, I did say, because I rewatched this Sunday afternoon. I was on a bachelorette trip. Everyone say, hope you got home safe.
Well, you did. We're seeing that.
Yeah, but like, am I okay?
Yeah, Marc won this weekend.
Yeah, that's true. I would have died, I think, if Monaco happened during the week it should have. Like, it just would have been too much, you know?
I agree. I think that the universe is looking out for us in this one.
I agree. I feel like racing, horrible, really bad. Not much of it happened at all whatsoever. But even like the penalties were just like so ridiculous.
It was just like everybody was on one this weekend.
So I texted, because I was texting a friend of mine when I was rewatching, and she had watched live, I think, and I was watching later in the day. And we were talking about like the quality of racing. And I was basically saying I wouldn't have minded all of these penalties because they're kind of ridiculous. It was all, like, not all of it, but I would say 2/3 to 3/4 of the time penalties were because of quote unquote speeding in the pit lane.
Right.
And so like clearly something else was happening there, which we have yet to really get a clear answer on.
Right.
So like it just felt kind of stupid. And I wouldn't have minded that as much if those penalties actually introduced real consequences that then you would have to race differently to deal with.
Right. But then everybody just continued to trundle around.
And it just was like, so why are we here? Like,
To
why are we
torture-
here?
To torture Charles Leclerc.
Yeah, but like we do that every weekend.
It's true. We do.
That's not even fun anymore. I'm honestly just kind of bored by like what happened this weekend.
Okay, you have a list of the war of attrition.
Yes. So we've got some DNFs. Lando Norris, Lance Stroll, Charles Leclerc, Carlos Sainz, Ollie Behrman, Valtteri Bottas, and in the most devastating one of all, Max Verstappen.
This was so sad.
That is 7 people DNF.
Another one. Thank you.
7 people on a grid of what, 22?
Yeah. And the thing is that they all happened basically at the beginning of the race.
Yeah, I would say it was all first half.
Which means it's not even quote unquote fun DNFs where it's like wheel to wheel racing. It's usually just engine failures.
Well, and them running into something.
Right. Because it's too small.
Because Monaco. We also had a very long list of time penalties. I think Carlos Sainz was one of them. Lance Stroll got a penalty also for track limits, which I am
laughing. How do you get track limits at Monaco?
Literally only Lance Stroll could do this.
How do you get track limits at Monaco?
Don't know. So we had an additional list of time penalties for Oscar Piastri. Like I said, Lance Stroll, Lewis, Pierre, George, Franco Colapinto, Nico Hülkenberg, and Checo all got time penalties. Sometimes they got 2.
George being one of them.
And in Checo's case, he got 10 seconds. I think he was out of position on the grid start. And you're like, you're fucking idiot. You've been doing this for over a decade.
It's so funny to me that it's like such a rookie error.
Like I said, I just like the issue with all of this is like this could introduce really cool stuff and like the consequences could be really interesting. But because no one can overtake here, no one can race, we just fucking sit there. And even a safety car restart, completely uninteresting.
Yeah. The only interesting thing that became of this is that Fernando Alonso somehow, because of all of this fucking nonsense, scored a point.
And good for that old man.
Good for that old man.
Yeah. Okay, so our predictions, I predicted a podium of Charles, Kimi, Lewis with a fail king of George.
Which kind of.
Spiritually, I was right there.
Yeah.
You predicted a podium of Lewis, Kimi, George.
I just got 1 and 2 switched.
And fail king Charles, also correct.
Also correct, yes. Yes.
The real podium was initially Kimi, Lewis, Pierre Gasly. And then because of these stupid ass time penalties, it ended up being Kimi, Lewis, Isaac.
The youngest podium in F1 history, except
this ancient like
man.
Titan.
I saw something today that if you add Kimi and Isaac's ages together, Lewis is only 23 days younger.
I mean, this is an episode about math, I guess. I think there is a somewhat good chance that the podium could get reverted.
I have some opinions on this in that I have no opinions on this. Pierre is rightfully gutted. Like, that's a very upsetting thing to happen. However, he was like, I've been dreaming of this for years and years and years. He got P3 at Monaco like 3 years ago, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think the point is that, like, his career has kind of been a slog. Like, you always dream of podiums. You always want this. I think the point he's trying to make, and he's French, so cut him some slack. I think the point he's trying to make is that it's been a long time for him without a really solid result. And I think to, like, finally make it happen after a few years of, like, having the car be, like, briefly good in some places and then, like, horrifically bad most places. I think that's what he means.
Yeah, I also see a lot of people saying that Pierre deserved this podium. And you know what I say about deservedness.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't think anybody deserved anything, but the issue is that the penalties were stupid.
Right.
Deeply stupid.
Deeply stupid. I also think that that's why I also like good for Isak, but also I don't care if it gets reverted because it's tomfoolery all the way down. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And what you're saying is such a, like, again, an indictment of the way the sport is right now is that, like, you don't care.
Yes.
You don't care what the result is.
I don't care what the result is. I don't care, like, can Charles come back from this? I don't care that Lewis is P2 in the championship. I don't care if, like, do you think Kimi is going to become the youngest champion ever? Like, there are theoretically really interesting narratives that could come out of this weekend. And I think it is an indictment of the sport that I, as a sports narrative lover, am just like completely fucking checked out. I don't care.
Yeah.
Like, that makes me really sad.
Even like 4 or 5 years ago, it's like, why are we still going to Monaco? And it's like, well, because Monaco has, in more modern eras, like historically been one of those races that, like, you just gotta fucking knuckle down and get through it. And a lot of the work is really important up front. But it's the history of Monaco that I think means it's so important to keep going there. But Monaco for a long time has been the spotlight of the issues on the sport. And I think that spotlight is so bright right now.
I think that there has been a shift in the 2020s specifically, where we have gone from, yes, Monaco is slightly boring, but the racers still love it because it is still the most challenging track for them. Like, it's not exciting for the viewer, but it is exciting for them. To the racers also hate racing here.
Yeah, completely agree.
And that really shines through.
Yeah.
Was Daniel Ricciardo nursing a broken MGUK unit with Sebastian Vettel on his tail the most exciting physical racing? Was there a lot of overtaking? No. But it was like...
But it was very defensive because...
Yes.
Vettel could have overtaken it. Like, that's what's so... Like, I was watching everything with Hadjar and, like, his car fucking not working. And I was like, you could not have manufactured, like, a better comparison point
100%
between Daniel's win and obviously Hadjar didn't win anything this weekend, but it's a very similar situation where he had a better car and a more experienced driver behind him and kept him there for a long time. And it's like massive amounts of respect to Isaac, but it's not like he was doing anything revolutionary.
No.
He just had a big car.
Yeah. It's so, like, genuinely, when was the last time Monaco was good? I think it was 2018.
I think there were a couple years, like, where it's interesting.
Charles, I think, winning was good.
I think last year was interesting, even if I don't think it, like, totally worked. Because they introduced the mandatory stops. I think the year, I can't remember, but I think maybe it was 2023, where the year that Checo bent it like 4 times.
Yeah.
Those are the things that were kind of interesting. I think it's also a big point that there was no... We talked about it last week, but there was no, like, DRS or, like, overtake zone this year.
Right. No active arrow.
Right. So it was kind of like, hey, even in the places where you theoretically could overtake and have in years past, we still can't.
Do you know what were pretty good races? F2 and F3.
Really?
Yeah. Because the cars are smaller and the kids are hungrier.
Yeah. Crazy how that works.
Crazy. Another theme of this podcast, tarmac disintegration.
Yeah, this happened right after Charles DNF'd, which we need to talk about. But they ended up red flagging the race, which, like, fucking crazy to do in Monaco. Like, whatever.
It's just like, okay, I'm now rolling over to the other side of the pillow to continue my nap.
The tarmac started disintegrating. I think at one point they were looking at, maybe it was Isaac's wheels, where they're like, oh, we thought that was marbling, where like the rubber comes off the tires and then you run over the marbles of rubber.
And they collect on the tires, yeah.
No, that was literally parts of the asphalt coming out of the ground and getting stuck in the hot rubber Formula One tires. So they had to red flag that for a bit. And apparently we're just kind of like, yeah, just don't use that space.
And everybody makes fun of American infrastructure.
Yeah, something is hinky in the state of Monaco.
I think there's a lot of things hanky in the state of Monaco.
The last thing I kind of want to talk about here is the brand new war or court case. I don't know. Charles Leclerc v. Brembo.
Who is Brembo?
They're the brake makers.
Oh, boy.
So Brembo is actually like the distributors of brake materials in MotoGP. If you're watching like a MotoGP race, at the beginning, they'll be like, Brembo braking points. And it's like the really high impact braking points. And Brembo sponsors that kind of flag to be like, we have really good brakes. Look. In F1, every manufacturer and team kind of does their own thing with a variety of different materials. Obviously, like McLaren buys stuff from Mercedes, but they might not buy everything. Like it kind of depends. So Charles has been complaining about the brake setup of his Ferrari for weeks now. There's something going on in there that like he doesn't understand. It categorically does not connect with the way the car is. There's something going on. After like coming into Monaco, he knew that there was a way to try and solve the issue, but wanted to go into Monaco, and this is coming from like post DNF interviews, wanted to go into Monaco with a brake setup that he understood. He had no idea it would be so fucking bad in Monaco. That's kind of what screwed up his whole weekend, is just having no brake. They're just overly sensitive. He talks about it in the interview where he's like, the way I was trying to brake around Monaco is that if I even like just leaned my foot against a brake pedal, they'd start fucking over braking.
Yeah.
So it's an incredibly ridiculous thing to try and do as a race car driver. He made some comments after his DNF that were quite combative. Obviously, like when he's in the car, he's like, it's these fucking brakes. I'm not taking the blame on this. It's these brakes. He then gets into the press pen and starts talking about it again. And it says some like combative stuff about Brembo and essentially confirms that Lewis has been using a different brake manufacturer for the last like this whole season, essentially.
Well, yeah, that tracks. I gotta stand up. I'm gonna finish the podcast standing. We've reached the standing portion of the podcast.
Okay, so according to some Italian outlets, there have been reports in the paddock that Lewis is using braking components from Carbon Industry. And Carbon Industry was the braking manufacturer for Mercedes the whole time Lewis was there. Lewis spent his first year with Ferrari being like, hey, can I please use them? Please, 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 can I use those brakes? And because he didn't have a lot of like sway yet, they kept being like, no.
Yeah.
You can't. This year, I think he kind of started putting his foot down more and more. They gave him these new brakes. Charles still has the Brembo braking components, and Brembo is the official like pen to paper supplier for Ferrari. So no one's confirmed this rumor, obviously, but like Charles' comments pretty much confirm it. And he's also mentioned in interviews that he'll go with Lewis's quote unquote direction from next race onward.
So he's aired Ferrari's dirty laundry that Lewis isn't using the sanctioned brake supplier.
It's not that they're not sanctioned. It's just that they're not Ferrari. And I think it's like a brake disc. Like there's a lot of different materials that go in there. But it's just not Ferrari's like sponsored thing.
I think that this is an issue, and it takes us kind of quite totally into the next point, where I think this is an issue of what happens when you only race with one team your entire career, is that you don't necessarily know what's out there until you get somebody like Lewis in the garage who makes a difference and sees the results.
I guess my opinion on this is that I don't really believe this is one of those moments where like a driver is making a decision based on like data and like digging into it all.
Like Lewis is just going with the feel.
Yeah, to me, this reads as like he was very comfortable with this. And because he wasn't comfortable with the Ferrari setup, he was like, let's try the thing that I'm comfortable with, and was for 7 years.
I see that. I see your point.
I do think it's like such a small thing in the grand scheme of all of the pieces of an F1 car that there's no way, all respect to Lewis, there's no way Lewis is able to look at the car overall and be like, it's this one brake disc that's the problem.
He's Princess in the peeing it.
Yeah, like I have a lot of fucking faith in like multi WDCs, but like
he's
they're
sitting
not
in the car
like
and
that.
going, it's the brake disc on the left side.
Yeah.
I sense it with my ass.
I think it's a level of like knowing what works for him and bringing something that he knows into the team.
At counterpoint, he is good friends with and mentored by Niki Lauda, who famously said his key asset in being a champion F1 driver was having a good ass that could sense the car beneath him.
Yeah, I'm not going to fight you on that one. Not gonna. Charles has also re-signed his Ferrari contract for another multi-year deal. His current contract is up in 29, and he's already re-signed a new one before Monaco, and then proceeded to have a real shitter of a weekend.
I think that this is a mistake.
I think he's very confident in the direction of Ferrari, as he always has been. And I would love to see him somewhere else. Like, you talk about Ferrari, you talk about Charles, like there's so much like it's written in the stars, like
El Predestinino or whatever.
El Predestinado.
Yeah.
And I do think he's supremely talented. And I think as much as Charles like believes the myth and like wants to believe the myth of like him at Ferrari, I would like to see him somewhere else where it's less about like the emotional kind of like, I owe it to this team, and more about like, how can we work in the same direction and all be cutthroat together?
I wonder if one of the elements keeping him at Ferrari is a fear that he will learn that his luck is just really that bad.
I think on the flip side, I think Charles doesn't see it as bad luck if you look at like the big picture. So I don't know. I think it's a good question. I think I just really want him to go somewhere like Red Bull, like McLaren. I think McLaren would stifle his shine. But I would love for him to go somewhere competitive that is kind of like, yeah, and we're fucking working on it. And we are going to like be competitive. We are going to be cutthroat. And we are going to move in the same direction so we can all win.
They aren't just resting on the laurels of being Ferrari.
Exactly. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, I would love to see him somewhere without that kind of like ego.
Yes, I agree that Charles needs to experience the ego death of Ferrari.
Yeah.
Don't we all?
Will we? Probably not.
Never. Some quick hits from the weekend. Max DNF'd, and then they said, are you going to stick around? He said, no, it's 500 meters. I'm going home.
Oh, and then he went to his yacht where he also has a sim set up.
I love him so much. It's unspeakable.
Do you see what Kelly posted?
No, what she posted?
She posted something of like them hanging out or like celebrating something. And she goes on her Instagram story, she goes, at least we have something to celebrate this weekend. You did get me with that one. I won't lie.
I will say that Red Bull redeemed themselves slightly because they did send Lily a little Red Bull suit.
Very cute. I saw that.
Very cute. What else happened this weekend? Pierre Gasly has a new business.
Oh, yeah. What is it?
He like launched like, I can't tell if it's an energy drink or just like water with vitamins in a can.
I thought that was a sponsor thing. I didn't know he owned it.
I think it's like an ownership situation.
All right. Diversify that profile, queen.
Yeah. And in the same vein, what's up with Charles Leclerc's ice cream?
I think it's still trucking. I mean, he's busy right now, so he can't be like doing promo for it, I guess.
Can't be hawking. And then we go to Barcelona.
Barcelona.
The last time will be at the Spanish GP at Barcelona until who knows when, because they're doing a stupid new track in Madrid.
They're calling it the Madring.
What is it with racing facilities and tracks wanting to sound like birth control so fucking badly?
Yeah. Do you think Marina can sue?
Kailami?
Yeah, it does kind of feel like them. I see it.
Nürburgring? I'm on Nürburgring.
Nürburgring is, I think, a little bit. I think it's one too many syllables.
Ask your gynecologist if Madring is right for you.
Exactly. Perfect. Perfect.
While you're asking your doctor about Razgatliogloins, ask your doctor about Madring.
Yeah.
That brings us to the grid as ... which for the uninitiated is a moment in our podcast where we categorize a handful of riders and drivers from across the great wide world of motorsport as a person, place, thing, concept, idea, and in honor of Zoe getting me into Love Island, we are going to do the grid as this year's Love Island contestants.
Love Island USA.
Yeah.
Clarify.
I'm not up to speed on the other one.
If we're being correct about things, because the British fans will jump down your throat about this. Love Island is the original. It's UK. Anytime someone says Love Island, they're talking about UK. Love Island USA is Love Island.
Fine, whatever, who cares? Would you like to go first?
I would. I also want to share with the class that a few weeks ago, I made a reference to Love Island by saying I got a text.
And it just went completely over my head. And then during the very first episode that we watched, I was like, oh, that's what you were referencing.
Mm-hmm. Yes. I got a text.
We're all hashtag listening and learning.
Okay. I think that Beatrice is Jorge Martin. Sit with me.
Okay.
Bea says what she needs to say. And I think that is a very positive thing about her. She's very direct. She's very straightforward. And I think ultimately she is one of the better communicators currently in the island because she has so much perspective. She's a pro athlete. She's been disabled her whole life. She is not white, experiencing white culture in America, as most of them are. But I just think these are all good things about her that ultimately lead to this idea that she says what she feels like she needs to say when she feels like she needs to say it. Jorge Martin does the same thing, but with none of the background that she has of perspective, clarity, directness. I think that Kata kind of reminds me of Marc because the second that Kata walked in and every second since, they have been terrified of her.
Yeah, 100%. Also, cheekbones for days.
Cheekbone for days. Kind of crazy. Love her. Casey, to me, is Bezzecchi.
Okay.
Slow burn. Like he takes a few days to warm up. Cunty little glasses, fun sense of style, kind of going under the radar. Not a lot of people are expecting a lot from him. And I think last night he came out of the gate swanging.
He did come out of the gate swanging.
With some very, very lovely, kind, beautiful things to say to Anaya as a dark-skinned Black woman living in America.
And we might cry about it. It was so beautiful. I agree with you that Bez is like a Casey star sign. I do think he is Kenzie rising.
I think if Kenzie's anyone, she's Marc.
Shaking the ass, yeah. And crazy.
Yeah, and a level of delusion. Unfortunately, the thing is that Marc can actually make it happen.
And Kenzie, we will see.
We will see. Trinity is Diogo Moreira. He is the local baby surrounded by adults and is enamored with the oldest man on the grid right now, Cal Crutchlow, who I guess is Bryce. And then Zach is Luca Marini for obvious reasons.
What are the reasons?
Zach's brother was on season 7.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I'm back. Okay. My turn. Fernando Alonso is Bryce, obviously.
Obviously.
Oldest man there. I think that George Russell is Melanie.
Oh, yes.
It makes sense at first, and then it starts to unravel.
Yeah.
And then she just gets progressively more
defensive and kind of hey, girl.
Yeah, exactly.
I was also going to say that obviously Bro Sadie's is what's going on with Zach and Bryce.
Yeah.
Zeiss, as one might call them. Lando Norris kind of reminds me of Mel because Mel is always obviously was crashing the fuck out and it was saying shit about just very emotional stuff, which I get it, you're isolated in a villa. I can't judge her too hard. But it just reminds me of whenever Lando would get in front of a camera and be I think I'd rather just not be here. And people were hey, do you just finish P7?
Okay. So that brings us to the end of the podcast. Coming out with us on Instagram, TikTok, Threads, YouTube. And then make sure to share, rate, review, subscribe to, comment on, engage with any and all of the above on the podcast to help us grow. We really appreciate it. Makes our days. And let's keep chatting soon.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.